You done did good. All right. I've been working on this for quite a while, trying to figure out just how to present this to you, because we've been talking about rebuilding our lives as we plan to do later on. But before we do that, we need to have our minds clear as to what it takes to rebuild lives. And so I learned this week that the average brain weighs 3 pounds. Did you know that? Some of you who why your head are so heavy all the time. You feel it. You know you're not enough. You got 3 pounds of brains up there. But here's something else I learned. I learned that it contains 12 billion cells. Each of these cells is connected to 10,000 other brain cells, totaling 120 trillion brain connections. Your brain. I don't even know how to write 120 trillion. I think he has something like about 15 or so zeros on the end. According to Dr. Dwayne Gish, eminent scholar, I quote, he said that the brain is the most complex arrangement of matter in the universe. The brain is the most complex arrangement of matter in the universe, according to Dr. Dwayne Gish. Some have tried to compare the brain, or the human brain, to a top-of-the-line computer. But technology still is a long way off from duplicating the human brain. Because it doesn't matter how sophisticated the computer is, when they get to that, they realize that it's not even the beginning. Now you know what the psalmist meant when he said, we are wonderfully made. Not only is the brain the most complex mechanism, it is the most influential. The most influential organ in your body is your brain. You cannot lose your brain and survive. It helps us to think, to remember, to love, to feel, to hate, to reason, to imagine, and to analyze. The lobes of the brain records everything we see, hear, touch, or smell. Our brain elevates us above the animal kingdom. Our brain literally sustains life. Good stuff. You better see Brother Ricardo, he's taping stuff. Some of you guys, I'm just throwing away these things. You need to have them on record, amen? And you talk to Brother Ricardo about getting your tape because he's taping. I can see that. If you are brain dead, you are dead. Whenever time you hear this about somebody's brain dead and they have them on a machine, for heaven's sake, if you have anything to do with that, tell them to switch the machine on. You are dead. There is no hope. The brain supervises everything you do. From the involuntary beat of the heart to every conscious decision you make, the brain is involved every minute of every day. Your brain controls your intuition, your conscience, your sexuality, and it houses the mind. The Bible summarizes the significance of the brain and of the mind as God sees this in Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7. Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7. The writer of Proverbs puts it this way. For as a man or woman thinks in his or her heart, so is he or she. As a person thinks in his heart, so is he. So we can conclude that the human mind is the single most important organism in all of creation because it controls a person's thought, their behavior, and as a result, it directs the way our society goes. Our mind determines who we are, how we behave. What we allow in our lives depends on our minds. What we suppress mentally determines whether we will walk uprightly or whether we will just go along with the crowd. But listen, the degree to which we attain the mind of Christ will determine the quality of life we enjoy, as well as determine where we spend eternity. You see, only when we train our minds to become like Christ will we ever be able to be renewed and to do what God's will is for our lives. Only when we train our minds.